All right. God bless each and every one of you. Hello. Um, so I'm gonna make this video, and I just watched or listened to some audio book from Edward Snowden. I'm sure you know who that is. He worked for the CIA. He was a whistleblower, and I plan on getting the book because unfortunately I couldn't listen to the whole book on YouTube for whatever reason. So I thank the Lord. I thank God for letting me find this stuff out because, like I said, this video is probably going to get flagged and it's probably going to get taken down. But the truth needs to be put out there for people who don't know. So essentially, he worked for the CIA and he came forward and published this book and basically confessed to some things. Essentially, the CIA is conducting mass surveillance on almost the entire population. Every phone record you have, every text message you've ever sent, every website you've been to, everything you have essentially done on your phone, your electronic device, phone, computer, has been collected and stored. So basically, the whole reason 9/11, well, I'm not gonna get off on 9/11, but basically, governments hire something called cybersecurity specialists. Essentially, what that is they work for a government, or they work for an office or a government agency, and they're supposed to go in, survey everything, and if they find like breaches or they find things that can be breached, they're supposed to report it back so they can solve the problem. But for whatever reason, they haven't been doing that. They have actually been weakening our systems for whatever reason. But basically, and he actually even says that everything you see on TV is pretty much a lie. The media, the media basically is controlled by the government. Everything you see is controlled and regulated by them. And so you have to ask yourself, the next question comes into mind, well, okay, then is there really a border crisis? Don't know. Really. You don't know. At the end of the day, you don't know. I feel like this is a distraction for something bigger. Personally, after hearing what he said, he said wars are basically even scripted for an agenda, for a purpose. They're even scripted for purposes. Everything every government does in the world has a purpose behind it. Whether it's oil, money, software, everything being done is essentially being recorded and put away somewhere. And It's it's really bad, really bad, because when you hear truths from somebody who worked for the CIA. He had access to everything you could imagine. He was a tech savvy computer guy, and he had access to everything, the network that you can imagine. Um, and he also said that he said a bunch of things. I'm not going to go into. I'm not going to go into all of it, but if what he said is true, which I would imagine it is, because he did work for the CIA, the next question you have to ask yourself is if what you see on TV is not in fact real, if it's a distraction from something else, then you have to ask yourself, what is this border crisis really a distraction about? What's really going on? You know, why? I mean, think about it. If the federal government really knows that much, the CIA rather, the Central Intelligence Agency really knows that much. Do you really think? Now, I want you to think about this, okay? Think about it. Do you really think the CIA, the FBI, and DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, do you really think that they would leave our borders wide open to everyone? Everyone. Think about that. Do you really think they would leave the borders just wide open to everyone? Think about it. I think the Lord did. I come across a video of this guy because now he's making me question everything I see on TV. The only thing I know for real is real for sure is Jesus Christ and the Father in the Bible. That makes me question everything else. So just think about it. Um, it makes me wonder. You know, um, at the same time, I wonder, although how vulnerable everything we have really is, because if the CIA is spying on the whole country with it, you know, is it really that vulnerable? That's another thing. Like, is it really that? Just research Edward Snowden. Um, I'm gonna get his book. It's called Permanent Record. I suggest you do too because um, I don't. The thing is, after listening to some of what he said, like I said, that was a small portion. You don't know what's going on. You don't know, and I think the New World Order mentioned the Book of Revelation or the One World Government or Babylon has been in place. Okay, it's the CIA. That's pretty much it's the federal government, and and the thing is, you just have to think. Just question everything you see on TV from now on. I don't care if it's social media because he said everything was pretty much a lie. Everything that you saw was government controlled. The news, the media. So, if that's the case, what are they distracting us from with this whole border thing? What's the real, what is it that they're trying to distract us from? Because see, here's something else that you don't understand. When Biden took office, now again, if you can believe this, um, he opened the borders. Which again, I just previously said, do you really believe that borders are wide open here? But if the borders have supposedly been open 4 years, here's something else. Here's another loophole in their story that's not adding up. Biden has been in the White House almost 4 years. Why are you just now talking about this? Have you ever asked yourself that question? So it's just hackers have been trying to get into our system for years. Why all of a sudden why all of a sudden can they just magically get in? They've been trying for years. They can magically get in now? Really? Hmm. Okay. So just pray about it, read scripture, and ask God to try to lead you to somebody to help you, which is what I found out. Um, and the funny thing is, it could be just to get more military. It could be it could be a hoax to have something to do with the election. It could be a number of things. So just don't believe really anything you see on the news. God bless.